Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft, and once again we are in the gaming district. And if you're unaware, on my second channel I put out a video going over my plans for 2018, and I said that I was going to be taking a break from the Hermitcraft server. And as soon as I had said that, I started to get really inspired to come over here and play. As soon as it wasn't on my mind for a couple of days, then all of a sudden the ideas started coming back to me, and I've been very inspired to work on the gaming district. Not sure if that's its official name, but I've been inspired to work on this area, and so I started live streaming over here, working on our game, working on the area around here, colouring in the floors. And in the last episode I commented on this and I got loads of positive feedback from everyone saying that they really liked the use of colours. We're going for a very playful, sort of like a kid's toy set kind of vibe around here, right? And I want to build a few things in this area related to that as well. People have been tweeting me statues of cuddly animals and things like that. So if you've got any ideas for kids' toys that we could rebuild in this area, please tweet them at me. There'll be a link to my Twitter in the description box down below. I'm going to be rattling my brain for ideas as well, and we are going to slowly flesh out this place with lots of different builds and colours to bring the theme together. So I've decided that for the foreseeable future, I'm just going to focus on this area alone on Hermitcraft and really try and bring Zeda's vision to life. He said that he wanted to have the game sort of wrapping around the paths, and we've kind of done that with our game over here. And you'll see some floating emerald blocks over here as well. Now, I've been talking to just about every other hermit, trying to encourage them to come over here and join in the project. And Wells Knight is going to be building an ice racing ring. We were playing Hermit Skies. There is a game on there called Hermit Skates where you race boats across the ice, and now we're going to have that on this area as well. So down the side of Mumbo's game, we are going to have an ice path coming across. It is going to go over the top of this path right here, and then it is going to go underneath through this little area and out through the purple bit. It will then wrap around the back of Joe's game. It will go across where the path is, and then it's going to go through this space here above the path all the way around to the end, back to the beginning. So it's going to wrap and weave its way around the other games, which is the look and the vibe that we are going for. Now, I'm going to do something in this episode, not just going to stand here and talk and tell you about the plans. I want to have this thing right here finished. This is the entrance to our game. The exit is over there. I want to do a bunch of building. But first of all, what I really need to do is some resource gathering. Our situation with resources isn't so great. I'm starting to run a little bit low. Let's plop down these shulker boxes, because these are the things that I've been using to build. Also, you can see the server's a little bit laggy. Fun story for you, when I logged onto the server, I tried to say hello to Mumbo, and my chat didn't appear in text for a while. Then I went and slept in the bed, and when I went to hit record, right, I slept in the bed, walked over to the top of there, I hit record, and I looked over the horizon, and the sun was setting, and I was like, what, are you kidding me? I literally just slept in a bed. So something is a little bit funky with the server. I'm probably going to restart it. As you can see, walls are not a problem. We've got the sheep farm. That's just a bunch of junk. I'm looking for my sand. There we go. Sand and gravel. We're very low on this, and you can see that we've been using dyes and sand and gravel to make the powdered concrete for the floors. That looks really good. Over here we have some clay, and I think I'm actually going to ditch using the clay for now. It doesn't look as good, and I want to get the matching blue colour in over here and rip out this stuff. Maybe with the red wall over the back there we'll keep it, because that looks pretty decent. But yeah, we need to gather lots of sand, lots of gravel, so I'll probably do like a mini time lapse or some clips or something like that, and we'll go gather all those resources. It's one of those kind of days today where you're just sort of inside the ground. Yep, that's just my feet sticking out. Don't worry about those. Hope no one else is around to see this. This is a little bit strange. I was about to say it's not going to fix itself. It's fixed itself. We're having some issues on the server here today. Anyway, I brought back some boxes, and I'm just reminded of what I was talking about at the very beginning of this video. I said that I decided to take a break from Hermitcraft. That is still actually kind of true. what I'm going to do is just play when I feel like it really at the moment and not worry about making videos consistently. So you'll see a video whenever I'm uploading it. There's going to be no schedule for Hermitcraft moving forwards. But anyway, you can see, look, full box of sand, full box of gravel, and I brought with me loads of different coloured wool as well. We already had quite a bit over here, but I made sure we had all the different colours. Before we get to some building and some doing stuff around here, just want to quickly address the Tangler. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you laughed at how silly I was in this game over here. If you didn't catch it, it was the last episode. Me and Wells played this together, and I made a tragic amount of horrendous mistakes while playing this that many of you pointed out in the comments of the video. I would just like to say one thing in defense of myself. When you are recording a video, walking around trying to play a game, thinking about what you're looking at, what you're saying, how people are listening to it, that taxes your brain a fair bit. And so things like basic mathematics and trying to solve problems quickly become very difficult, and the whole thing was just, yeah, not very impressive. I know. So it's time to finish our game first of all. Wanted to work on the entrance here, and as I start to build it up with the idea I've had in my head, just realise it kind of blocks the view of what's across here. I think this central area, you want to be able to sort of see everything. So what if we were to rip out this white concrete that I've got here and perhaps replace it with glass? And so you can sort of see through the different pillars that are on here. And the way I've set up the entrance here as well is that you're going to go downwards pretty quickly, pretty swiftly make your way down, so there's lots of room under the ground to explain how the game is played and go into the start area, right? Because as you can see up the top here, these walls kind of push the space in a little bit. But we're going to rip them out, possibly replace them with glass, and what we're hoping for is something that doesn't spoil the view. If these pillars alone spoil the view, maybe the whole thing could be built out of glass, and you know what, they do kind of spoil the view, don't they? I have built a glass house, a greenhouse. It's not green, it's white, but it's also glass. Yeah, not so sure about this. It's an interesting look, but I feel like if we were to build this up, it would really just intrude on the view of this central area here. And from the center, you can kind of see the other stuff around here through it as well. So I think it's cool. And when you get close to it, you're going to see that it opens up down below. And then this is where we're going to put instructions and stuff like that for all of the games. So I just need to do a little bit of building here. Bring these blocks down to the floor. You can see I put bone blocks in. That's because we use bone blocks over there, which, by the way, built up that a little bit more on a live stream. So that's looking good. I think the game is literally finished. I just need to sort out the ending of it. So if we can get this room done and the instructions in place, we'll actually be really close to being complete. So the last time I hit record, things didn't go so well. You may have saw I put a little annotation on the screen. Yeah, watching the video back, it froze up. So there are bugs with Windows 10 and the new software that I'm using. Hopefully I can get those ironed out. Hopefully everything is okay right now. You can see this room is a little bit dull and bland. I want to throw down some things in here to brighten it up a little bit, just some details. But the name of the game is over here. Welcome to Dash and Jump. Something nice and simple that we can turn into a sign. A two-player race through an assault course of parkour challenges. To start the game, both players must stand in the doorways to the left. The doors are open when both players are present. The winner is the first player to reach the end. Good luck and beware of the lava challenge. It is possible to die. Player the game. During the game? I think I wrote the wrong word there. Death equals lose. Rules: 1. Stay in your lanes at all times. 2. No breaking or placing of blocks. 3. Play naked. No items or armor. Now I think I've kind of covered everything there. As the creator of the game, it's easy to know how your game works and how to play it. It should be fairly obvious through the way that I've explained it, that it's just a race, you know, with 2 lanes. It's an assault course, and the rules refer to moments like this where you could technically hop into the other lane. But it should be really easy to follow the game around if you want to play along with it. And it'll bring you all the way to the top up there, of course. Now, I did have a few comments from people. A couple of people didn't quite understand the next challenge up, saying that it was possible to do this one without standing on that pressure plate. So let's go ahead and do this. If we jump around like this and we stay in the lane, we don't use these blocks on the side, you'll see that we can't make the last jump. So you do need to stand on this pressure plate. And I think that llama was just standing on it. And yes, the llama has got caught in the puzzle, and it likes this place. It's been hanging out here for a while. I hope that this idea ends up looking alright, because I'm not too much for decorating things in whatever word you would use to describe this. I was going to say creative, but you know, most things are creative when you're playing this game, right? But this is me stepping outside of what I usually do here, I feel like. Boots. I had a little scratch of the old noggin, and then I thought, you know, running and jumping, boots. So let's put in some boots in this hallway here. Now, if you'd like to leave a comment down below, hashtag boots, give me some ideas for what we could rename them to. I was thinking maybe famous runners or things related to feet, like we could call it toe. Well, actually, no, I think looking at it and seeing a runner's name makes the most sense, right? But if you've got any ideas for what we could theme these around, it'd be cool for the player to walk down here, and on the way down here it's like, oh, what are these? And then they've got some names to read, give them something to do. In this area here, I just put in some cauldrons and bushes, which they kind of look alright. Maybe one or two extra things like a carpet could go in here. But for now, I really like the boots on the wall. I feel like they fit very well. Red is too strong of a colour for this area, I think. And look at this latency I'm putting up with today. Did you see it there? It took a while for the crafting thing to appear. Yeah, my connection to the server has been ropey all day, so I'm just taking it easy, you know, hanging out, doing a little bit at a time. And I think that'll fit a little bit more down here. You know, this build is very grey and monotone, but throwing in a bit of colour isn't always the best of choices. Next up is the name of this game, the sign for it that lets you know that it's here, and halfway through building this, in true Asuma style, I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if there were like one letter blocks, you know? I actually think it would be a great idea to add the alphabet as a block with like a texture. That would be so cool. And of course there's banners. I could have used banners, but I think actually that's probably a little too small. Let's not overthink this. We're going to put the name in, and from a distance it looks cool. However, I added this kind of finishing thing out of iron bars, and I might change it over to glass actually, as it's going to obscure the view of the sign a little bit. And straight away I've spotted a problem, which is that we need to raise the bottom of this up by a couple of blocks, which, you know, will mean we can actually read the bottom word from the bottom there. Now, I want to show you a bug with Vanilla Tweaks. I wouldn't really call it a bug, it's just an oversight. So what I have with Vanilla Tweaks is these textures will look a little bit more interesting as they're not fully repetitive, right? Are they all the same there? I think that one's slightly different. No, they are actually pretty much all the same. Let's place them down. There you go. There's one of the ones that's different. There's another one right there. And those small little changes, they go a long way. However, I built the whole of this thing out of slabs, right? And when you place a double slab, it reverts to the normal texture. So here and up the top there, you can see the extra little bits on the wood. And then on the sides, we don't have it at all. So let's go and place these slabs. So there you go, extra bit of texture, and then bam, that texture changes. You can actually see it in action. So you can sort of see the difference, right? That is the difference right there. But it means what I need to do is come over here and actually put these ones in to have a chance of having the proper texture. As you can see, it now has the proper texture. So I'll have to rebuild this, but we're actually going to end up rebuilding the entire thing. There we go. That's looking good. Yes, the M is a little bit odd. And as we head up there, I also wanted to point out that I changed over the materials down here. It looks much nicer without the clay, doesn't it? The M looks odd because if we were to have built it on the road below, the stairs could have been a little bit higher up, and that would have looked nicer. I also put some stairs at the top as well, just to kind of create the M shape a little bit more. And I think we get away with it, but we're missing a key letter here, and that is the letter N, which I'm actually going to put behind the letters. And before we get to that, I've also thrown in this little bit at the bottom here. What I wanted to do was slowly wrap around a border. If you look at the way Boat Bros works, we kind of hide what's behind here, and we're doing the same thing with this sign. I'm also going to fill in a gap here on the side, which reminds me that I've missed out part of the roof down here. So we're sort of going to fill in this space, but then I thought it would also be good to have a window into the mushroom biome behind it. So when it comes to whatever gets built in this space, and I've got a game planned for the future that might use up this space, we will again just block off the view of all of this stuff behind, right? That's kind of me bringing this whole thing together there. So how are we going to put the N in? We are going to remove some of the bone blocks here, and I'm not actually that prepared, but I think what we're going to do is have this thing go 3 wide like that. So it's going to be 3 wide in the middle, and then we're going to have red go from top to bottom on either side, and then a diagonal bit through the middle, and that's going to create the letter N. So there it is, jump and dash, and from back here, the red bit doesn't look so great, I know. I've also extended that down that side, as you can see, and up the top here, the prismarine now stretches around the side, the roof is done, all of those things that I mentioned. And unfortunately, it doesn't look quite as good as when I did this in a test world, and I had the letters swapped around. Dash was at the top, jump was at the bottom, and it just made the N far more visible than it is here. So I'll have to think on that and maybe change it up a little bit, but I think we're kind of stuck with that. Or maybe we could just take out the red wall and leave it as jump dash for now. Jump and dash being the full name of the game. So this area up the top here is kind of done. I might put down a sign saying, you know, you're finished, congratulations, or whatever. But down the bottom here, what I want to work on next is this middle area. I've actually had an idea on how to make this look more interesting, and it's going to start off with adding some paths to the middle. Now this does not line up with the center. That is the center right there, so we need some sort of miniature diagonal bit there or something, and then it will go across to the center island here, which I'm also not sure what we're going to do with. And actually, I'm not going to remove those blocks just yet. It's going to go across like that. So we will add another one over here, and in doing so, what I'm going to do is turn this path in this direction, then in that direction, leaving space for Wells to have his ice path come through here, and sort of start to divide up some more sections, as I want to plan out where I'm going to put a future game. So I'm going to be going around and working a lot on putting down some more colour. There's a few spaces over here that need a little bit more work with the colours. Obviously, earlier in the video, I went and gathered a load of resources, right? So what we're going to do is throw down those resources, put the different colours in the different area, and really move things along here in preparation for doing the centre. I'm not going to do it all in one go, but I've got an idea for how we can do this bottom bit. So as the time-lapse showed you there, we're filling in the different sections with different colours. I think we're yet to repeat ourselves at all. Although we got green over here, we had green over there as well, but... well, actually, I think it was those blocks right there, so maybe we've done green twice. But anyway, you can see that I've left space for where the ice track is going to go across here. This is the purple section. The cyan section comes across to here, and then we're going to have a red one over here. And I've got to go in and fill in all of this water, tear it out, and replace it with the red blocks. That's one thing to do. And then the other thing is the central area. So I have an idea for what we're going to do in this center spot, and it's basically going to be creating a complete jumble of colors. And I've picked out 8 different colours to go in this middle section, and after doing this we might realise that it looks absolutely horrible and it wasn't a good idea, but I think it's a cool way to tie the colour and the feel of this area together, to just have an absolute jumble of different colours in the middle. Now, one of the ones that I've left out deliberately is lime. I've picked these ones on my hotbar with a little bit of thought, because of course we've got lime around the outside here, and what we're going to do is just come in here and literally place them one at a time and just go for the jumbled colour look. So if we do a small section together, we can then take a step back and see what we think about it. I'm also going to try and avoid putting the same colours too close to each other, which might prove to be a little bit tricky. So we'll have a giant patchwork of colours here in the middle, and I think that could end up looking yeah, relatively good. We've then got to extend the paths out to the middle, so we're going to have a cross section with a path on each side. And currently I'm out of andesite blocks, so I've got to do a little bit of digging underground and hopefully get some more of those. I must stop myself from getting too carried away here. I filled in all of that over there, so we got a little bit of caving to do for andesite to finish up these paths and build them across the centre of this as well, because as you can see I'm throwing in loads of wall blocks. Now I've been placing them in order and sort of like going from left to right and then right to left and back and forth and kind of trying to create some sort of patterns in there. So I thought you might step back from this and feel like you're seeing reoccurring themes, like red and yellow appear near each other quite frequently, but that might be the same for all blocks. Anyway, I was hoping there'd be some sort of obvious pattern, but I don't think there really is. And then over on this side, yes, we have the roof of this game. So if you're playing this, you will see a little bit of the colour from down below, which might be a bit distracting, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. And I finished it with no blocks placed directly next to each other. Of course, diagonally they are. And only these many left, so I picked out the right amount of blocks, right? Oh, actually, I did place two together, but it's one that doesn't need to go there. Huh. Anyway, that's now finished and taken care of. So there you go, paths are in place, and this thing over here looks awesome now that it's got the same thing going on either side. I put down a little bit more of the red stuff over there, and I think I'm going to put down some blocks and actually claim this area, as I've got an idea for another simple and fun game, and I think I'm going to put it in this space and lead it up in that direction, so again we can continue with the sort of slowly evolving around this centre circle here. I've also got some plans to work on the centre circle as well. I got lots of plans, as you can probably tell, and if you're enjoying the series and you enjoyed this episode, leave a like on the video. As always, thank you for your support. That is going to be it from me this episode of Hermitcraft. Do hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.